So hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, and today's match preview is on the Crystal Palace versus Wolves game. First off, I want to kick off by saying a massive congratulations and very well deserved call-ups to all of our players, but especially to Helder Costa, called up for the Portugal senior team, and also Johnny Otto, who's been called up to the Spain senior team. Absolutely brilliant. Also Ruben Vinagre has been promoted up into the Portuguese under-21s. Fantastic and well done, guys. The only thing that really I'm a bit vexed with, a little bit knocked with, is, you know, Helder Costa, Johnny Otto, they're good enough to be called up for the Portuguese and also the Spanish squads, along with, you know, the rest of our fantastic players. But the likes of Connor Cody, which Gareth Southgate did say if he could prove himself against top class strikers, well, you know, he performed it admirably and very well against the likes of Man United, Man City. We've kept, I don't know, along with the rest of the defence and the team, clean sheets in the last 2 or 3 games, and he has not been called up. I'm a little bit vexed about that, especially when he's called up another player from the Championship. But still, hopefully Connor, you'll get called up on the next round. Fingers crossed. Just keep doing what you're doing. Also, we need to point out today that's fantastic for our leader, Nuno Espirito Santo, who's been nominated for Manager of the Month, which is absolutely marvellous, and Willy Bolly, who's also been nominated for Player of the Month. One other interesting bit of news that Wolves have put out is Matt Doherty, all those doubters in the first 1 or 2 games that, you know, were worried about you being able to cut it in the Premier League. I think you proved everyone wrong. And all those Fantasy League players, you are the most transferred in player in the last week or 2, so fantastic to you. So just a great sign of how well Wolves are doing. So let's move on to the actual game itself. Crystal Palace are going to be without their forward Christian Benteke, who's been out for basically more than a month. Scott Dann and Connor Wickham are also back in training, but Saturday will come a little bit too soon for them, so I don't expect them to feature for Crystal Palace. Wolves, as you know, could also set a Premier League record by naming an unchanged side in their starting 11 for the opening 8 games, and I'll come to my team prediction later on, along with my score prediction. Winger Helder Costa, there's been a doubt about him, but obviously being that he's been called up for the Portuguese squad, I expect that he will be fit. In terms of head-to-head, Crystal Palace and Wolves have never met. They've never met in the Premier League. So this is actually the first top-flight meeting between both sides since January 1981. Palace have won actually all their 3 last games against Wolves in all competitions. The last meeting between the 2 sides came in January of 2013 when Crystal Palace came out winners 3-1. On to some Crystal Palace stats and facts. Crystal Palace have actually just won 1 of their last 6 top-flight games, drawing 1 and losing 4, and are yet to score a Premier League goal at Selhurst Park this year. However, at this stage of the season, last season they'd lost all 7 games by an aggregate score of no goal score and 17 conceded. So they are doing a little bit better, and as you know, they did end up pulling it back and staying up, so that was a fantastic achievement for them. Victory actually against Wolves on Saturday would be Crystal Palace's 100th in the Premier League and their 200th in the top flight. Obviously that's a really nice round number, and they can stick that round number and keep it on 99 and 199, because we do want the points on Saturday. Palace have actually conceded 3 penalties in their 7 league games in 2018 and 2019, and Wilfried Zaha is a very, very key player for them. When he plays, he creates most of the chances and goals, as in a hand in 10 goals in his last 12 Premier League appearances, scoring 8 and setting up 2, so he is their danger man. We know he's a danger man. I'm sure Nuno will have him tightly looked after. Nuno prepares meticulously. The team has been delivering. Zaha actually scored twice and assisted another in his 2 previous league appearances against Wolves. So let's look at the Wolves stats and facts. Wolves are now unbeaten in 5 league games, actually winning 3 and drawing 2, which is Wolves' best top flight run since November 1981. The last time we were unbeaten in 6 games was April 1979, so hopefully that'll be another record that we can equal. Victory actually would put Wolves on to 15 points after 8 games, and in the history of the Premier League there's only 5 clubs that have managed to reach 15 points in the opening 8 fixtures. 7 of Wolves' 8 league goals this season has actually come in the second half of games, and Wolves will set, obviously as I mentioned earlier, a Premier League record if the starting lineup is unchanged. They're currently matching it with 7. And Raul Jimenez, I hope I got that right. All you Mexicans out there that watch my channel, let me know if I got that. Raul Jimenez has been directly involved in half of Wolves' 8 goals in the Premier League so far, with 2 goals and 2 assists. So moving on to what I'm feeling in regards to the team selection, and obviously I want you to leave your thoughts on what you think the team selection is. I think personally, if Helder Costa's fit, Nuno does like his records, and I think we'll go with an unchanged side to get the Premier League record. I think it'll be the same starting lineup and a pretty similar bench again that has worked for Wolves. Why change it? If he's not broken, don't change. If Helder's fit, I think he will start. The only change will come is if he's not fit, but as I said earlier in this preview, I do believe he is fit, because he wouldn't be going to Portugal national team if he wasn't. So I think the starting lineup will be unchanged for an 8th consecutive match, and that will mean that Wolves have set a new Premier League record and another record for Nuno in the process. In terms of a score prediction, it's going to be Crystal Palace is a tough game to go. It's quite a tight ground. They've got a ferocious support. They've got some talented players. Strangely enough, Wolves on current form are favourites for this, but you know, Wolves have not conceded a goal recently, and Crystal Palace haven't scored at home, so it'd be just the typical thing that they go and beat us 4-0 or something like that. But I'm not thinking like that. I do believe that Wolves will get at least a point. I'm going to go with a 1-1, with my head saying 1-1 being conservative and getting another point on the road. My heart is saying 3-1, but I'm going to go with a 1-1 and hope that my heart's right with 3-1. What do you think the score is going to be? Leave your score prediction in the comments below, and who you think the first goal scorer will be. If you get it right, one of you might get a shout out in my reaction vlog. If there's more than one of you gets it right, I'll pick a random name out. But recently no one's got the score right. A couple of people got the score right, but I haven't got the first goal scorer right. No one got Cav last time out, you see. So yeah, leave your thoughts on the game, how you're feeling about the game, how you're feeling about the Conor Cody situation, the fact that he hasn't got called up for England, and how you're feeling about the lineup and the score prediction. And come on Wolves. And as you can probably tell from behind, I won't be at the Crystal Palace game, but I will be trying to get a stream to watch it, and I will be doing my reaction vlog. Come on Wolves, let's get the win and move on to 15 points. Fingers crossed.